the belief that Iran may sit on or near a functioning stargate. Somewhere beneath Iran's deserts, mountains, or ancient ruins lies a technological or energetic portal, a gateway capable of allowing advanced beings, interdimensional travelers, or unknown intelligences to move between worlds. Some theorists suggest that Iran is not home to a single portal, but part of a larger network of energetic or technological gateways stretching across the Middle East. They describe the Iranian plateau as a stargate corridor, a region where sacred geometry, ancient temples, magnetic anomalies, and underground structures supposedly converge. This theory focuses on the mountain regions along the Iran-Iraq border, particularly the rugged terrain associated with ancient Elamite and Mesopotamian interaction. Some spiritual or esoteric systems describe this area as containing a major planetary gateway, sometimes labeled a dimensional gate or energy node believed to influence global events. Some even claim that military interest in the Middle East has been influenced by the search for ancient technology or hidden portals, and that the 2003 Iraq War was an attempt to secure ancient artifacts or portals near Mesopotamian ruins. What if the conflicts we see on the surface are not only about borders, oil, or ideology? What if certain lands have been contested for thousands of years for reasons far older and far stranger? Across the ancient world, there existed a persistent idea that the earth was not simply rock and soil, but a living system, a body. Many traditions described invisible currents flowing across the planet, lines of force connecting mountains, deserts, temples, and sacred cities. Today, these are often called ley lines, but the idea itself is much older. Egyptian priests spoke of power centers aligned with the stars. Sumerian traditions connected divine authority to specific landscapes. Persian cosmology described a structured universe where sacred geography played a role in the balance between cosmic forces. Different civilizations, different languages. Yet again and again, the same theme appears. Certain places mattered more than others. Not only politically, not only economically, but energetically. Some esoteric traditions claim that where these planetary currents intersect, gateways can form, not physical doors, but regions where perception shifts, where ritual, symbolism, and consciousness were believed to influence reality itself. Later mystical systems would describe these intersections as stargates. Whether symbolic or literal, the concept remained powerful. These were thought to be locations where the human world and the divine order could interact. And one region repeatedly appears in these traditions: the lands of ancient Persia. Modern Iran sits at the crossroads of some of humanity's oldest civilizations. To the west lay Mesopotamia. To the east, the vast Iranian plateau. To the north, steppe cultures and mountain kingdoms. To the south, trade routes reaching deep into the ancient world. It was a meeting point of ideas, myths, and technologies. Zoroastrian fire temples once burned across these landscapes. Star lore traveled along caravan routes. Sacred mountains and desert shrines became focal points for ritual and kingship. Some later occult traditions began to suggest that this region stood on a major node of the Earth's energetic network, a convergence point where ancient cultures sensed unusual power. Whether this was geology, psychology, or something more mysterious, the belief itself endured. Then there is Atlantis. In later myth and speculative history, Atlantis was not only described as a lost civilization, but as a culture that understood resonance, sound, geometry, alignment. Temples were said to be constructed in precise locations. Pyramids, ziggurats, stone circles, not randomly placed, but positioned in ways that reflected both the sky above and the earth below. In this view, the planet itself functioned as a kind of system, a network. Sacred sites acted as nodes, stabilizing or amplifying forces that ancient people believed shaped reality. When Atlantis fell, according to legend, this knowledge fragmented. Structures remained. Traditions survived in altered form. But the larger pattern was forgotten. Yet the places themselves did not vanish. Deserts still hold buried cities. Mountains still carry myths older than history. Ruins stand where rituals once attempted to connect heaven and earth. Some modern interpretations suggest that regions which remain strategically important today may also sit atop landscapes that were considered sacred in antiquity. There is also another dimension to these traditions, one that may not be purely symbolic or philosophical. Many ancient systems taught that the human being was connected to the cosmos not just spiritually, but structurally. The body was seen as a reflection of larger universal forces, and the mind was believed to interact with realities beyond the visible world. Temples may have served more than ceremonial or cultural roles. Their precise construction, astronomical alignments, and unusual placement across vast distances suggest the possibility that they were components of a larger system, one that ancient societies only partially understood, yet carefully preserved. In this view, sacred architecture was not only symbolic, it may have been functional. The idea of stargates, long dismissed as myth, could represent memories of technologies or mechanisms designed to alter perception, manipulate energy, or even facilitate movement between distant regions or realms. What later traditions described in spiritual language may have originated from encounters with phenomena that were real, but no longer fully understood. As above, so below, a phrase preserved in Hermetic writings, reflects a world view in which the sky and the earth operated in synchrony. If ancient builders intentionally mirrored celestial patterns on the ground, it raises a deeper question. Were they simply expressing belief? Or were they attempting to interact with forces that required precise positioning, geometry, and environmental conditions? The persistence of stories about lost grids, sacred nodes, and ancient gates may point toward fragments of a technological framework that once shaped how civilizations organized their landscapes. Over time, knowledge may have fragmented. Ritual replaced operation. Myth replaced instruction. Yet the structures themselves endured. Today, ruins still stand in deserts, mountains, and remote valleys, silent witnesses to intentions that modern archaeology has not fully explained. The myths remain, the alignments remain, and the question remains: were these only symbolic expressions of humanity's search for meaning, or traces of systems built to access powers that have long since been forgotten?